Hey there everyone, welcome back to Oh Brother Comics. Today, we're going to be going over our 10 and 10 video. That's the video where we choose 10 books from this last Wednesday's release, August 25th, 2021, and we go ahead and we read them and give you our review. So, without further ado, because time is of the essence, let's get to this list. Matt, you're up first, brother. What do you got for us?
All right, what's up, everybody? The first comic book that we will be going over today is Amazing Spider-Man number 72 by Marvel. The writer is Nick Spencer and the artist is Federico Sabatini and more. Holy smokes, this issue was so good. This series all in itself is just amazing. It has me on the edge of my seat. The Sinister Wars series has, every issue I feel like has been, I believe, is just killing it. And this issue is completely consistent with the series so far. But what's different about it was in this particular issue, it took the focus off Spider-Man and turned it more of the attention onto Norman Osborn. And there were some very bonkers revelations. So I'm very, very excited for Sinister War number 4. I'm very, very excited for Amazing Spider-Man number 73, just to learn more, to see more. I gotta give this book an amazing, and yes, like Spider-Man, an amazing 4-1.
All right, for our next issue, we went with Department of Truth number 12. It's written by James Tynion and art is by Martin Simmons. This book is the issue that I have been waiting for. I did really enjoy the Bigfoot issues that came prior to this, but I can't deny it was starting to feel a little stagnant. It's just like the plot didn't feel like it was really moving too far forward. But this issue really changed that, and Tynion really started adding the fuel to the fire in this. In it, we find out that Hawk has been basically using Cole in his grand plan for the last 30 years. It was a huge eye-opening moment. There's a big twist at the end, and I'm really looking forward to the next issue. I rated this a solid 4.2 out of 5 this week.
All right. So first up for me is Star Wars Darth Vader number 15 by Marvel Comics. This is written by Greg Pak and illustrated by Rafaela Ienco. So it is so refreshing to read a story and to be completely immersed in it, and to also have that story make you feel like you are watching a Star Wars movie unfold for the first time. That's exactly how I felt with this issue. I loved Vader's interactions with Ochi of Bestoon and Boku the Hutt. It's just so Vader, and it's awesome to read. I have not been this excited with some of the previous issues of Vader, where Vader's just being sidelined and kind of humiliated, because it doesn't really feel like Vader to me. I also haven't really been that excited reading some of the other Star Wars titles lately, with the exception of the High Republic comics. But all that humiliation ended with this issue, and Vader is back to his old self. While reading this issue, I caught myself with this stupid fanboy grin on my face throughout. This is exactly how Star Wars should be and is meant to be written. I rated this at a 4 out of 5.
The next story we will be talking about is Echolans number 1 by Image. The writer is W. Hayden Blackman and J.H. Williams. The artist is also J.H. Williams and Dave Stewart. I enjoyed this issue. The pacing had me feeling really excited and focused in the story. It moves pretty quick and the art is very vibrant and well done. However, it was very short. That was a little off-putting, as far as like there wasn't really a lot of development for the plot and the characters. What we do get is a female character named Hope. She looks like Little Red Riding Hood and she explodes people with her mind. So that's what we get. The story seems to take place in a dystopian setting. It has a very science fiction vibe, which I always appreciate and enjoy. I will give this book an enjoyable 2.7. I recommend it to anyone that is into science fiction or is just looking for a simple and fun adventure story.
For our next book, we went with Something Is Killing the Children number 19. Another book written by James Tynion and artist by Werther Dell'Edera. Now, this book was quite good, but I can't lie when I say that I wasn't a little disappointed with the outcome. Now, I know that we knew that Erica was going to be okay with this initiation process because this is a prequel story about it. But they had been building up this event to be some grand dangerous but important initiation process to get into the Order of St. George. Even to the fact that they thought that she wasn't going to survive this. Well, when it really came down to it, it kind of fell flat and it didn't seem dangerous at all. So I was a little disappointed about that. I rated this a 3.8 out of 5, still a very solid book, and I'm looking forward to the next issue.
Up next for me is Thor number 16 by Marvel Comics. This is written by Donny Cates and illustrated by Michelle Bandini. So after reading Vader, I thought no other comic this week would live up to that level, but I was wrong. This issue is so good and in my opinion is one of the best Thor issues in the run. After leaving Mjolnir in Avengers Mountain in the last issue, Thor goes off to converse with Jane, one of the few people he can be open with, and his interaction with her is really refreshing. We get reminded of how old he is and how much of Earth's evolution he's been around for. I love how he's summoned by his mother, by the Ravens, Hugin and Munin, just as he's talking about being a king and answering to no one. And the surprise reveal at the end is definitely not something I would have seen coming. This is my pick of the week, and I rated it at a 4.2 out of 5.
The next book we will be telling you about is Superman vs. Lobo #1 by DC. The writers are Tim Seeley and Sarah Beatty. Artist is Mirka and Dolfo. This book was barking great. There's a lot to unpack. This is a very long issue. It's nearly 50 pages, but goodness, it is a great book. This book is nothing that I expected. What I envisioned was a simple story where Superman and Lobo just meet up over some conflict and throw down, and that would have been entertaining in itself, but really as a reader I got so much more. This book came together so immaculately. I gotta give it a Varkin 4.7. This is definitely my pick of the week. You need to go read this book.
And for this next book, we went with King Spawn #1. It's written by Sean Lewis and Todd McFarlane, and art is done by Javier Fernandez, Brett Booth, Philip Tan, Steven Segovia, Todd McFarlane, and Marcio Takara. Whole slew of cool artists and writers. Now, this book really blew me away. I loved it. It was such a fun, dark, gruesome, heaven versus hell noir story that I was really looking for, and it surprised me. I know Spawn's been doing quite well with his new books that are coming into the Spawn universe, but this book really felt nostalgic to me and brought out what I really loved about Spawn when I first started reading it. I am really looking forward to what's coming into this universe. If they can keep this level of quality in this book with the writing and the art, it's going to be amazing. Guys, this was my pick of the week. I rated it a solid and very much deserved 4.4 out of 5.
Last up for me is Midnight Western Theater #4 by Scout Comics. This is written by Louis Southard and illustrated by David Hahn. So this is another great issue from Scout Comics. I'm always excited when I see another one of these issues on the new comic book day list because this story is very original and so much fun. As with the previous issues, the story opens up with some additional details about the past when Hortensia, the main character, was a child. You get to see what happened to her father and part of what happened to her. And there's definitely a deeper story behind what we're experiencing right now, so I'm very much looking forward to more and more reveals in future issues. I rated this at a 3.8 out of 5.
All right, the last book we will be talking about today is Barbaric #3 by Vault Comics. Writer is Michael Moresi and artist is Nathan Gooden. Another amazing book. This was the conclusion to Barbaric, and I really felt bummed that it was over. This book ended just as great as it started. It was only 3 issues, so it's a really quick, easy read. I highly recommend you go get it. The writing was on point. The characters work really well together. Owen, the barbarian who is cursed to do good, is such a delightful character. I loved his dynamic with his axe, who gets drunk as they slaughter people. I give it a very lovable 4.5.
Well, all right, guys, that's going to do it for this week's 10 in 10. I hope you guys enjoyed this list. We had a blast reading these books this week. There were so many great books on this list. and I hope you guys had the same experience. Please, we ask that you leave us a comment down below and let us know what you were excited to read about this week. And while you're there, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe while you're at it. Well, I'd like to thank you all again for watching. Guys, we'll see you all this weekend. Have a good week. We'll see you later.